everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm the human behind Tiny Little Oasis. My name is Seren, and today we have a bit more of a chill video. I'm going to be taking you around my bedroom and the living room and showing you my plants. So we're going to be counting them together because I think I've lost a few more than I thought I had over winter. Okay, so without further ado, let's go. Let's start. I'm gonna have to pull these guys out to show you. Here we have my beautiful ficus belize. I love these beautiful painted leaves. The lower leaves have a bit more damage. I'm not sure why. I tend to keep the soil relatively moist, but honestly, it's getting quite dry. So yeah, this is my little ficus belize. Quite a pretty one. I'll show you this one while I have it with me. I'm not sure if you'd see this one as much anywhere outside the UK, but this sad little guy that's leaf is going a bit brown is an oak. So I got this guy from Richmond Park. It was an acorn when I got it. I picked it up off the floor and planted it. I just put it straight in the soil. And it's grown into this little guy. I'm thinking that I might start wire bending this guy so that it turns into more of a bonsai. I'm very proud of this. I planted it last September. I just love how papery the leaves are. Beautiful. So fragile though, so I really try to be careful with it. I keep the soil nice and moist because it loves that. As you can see, I chopped the first stem and it carried on growing up. So I'm hoping that when it's a bit heavier, it'll start to bend, but maybe I'll have to wire bend that. This is my Mandula pothos. It has some beautiful variegation on these leaves, like this. It has these beautiful variegated leaves. I don't know the care for this one yet, as I've only had it a few weeks, but I'm going to treat it like my other pothos. I tend to not water my pothos very much because they're quite resilient, but I'm going to keep this guy quite nice and moist because of the variegation. I don't want the leaves to get crispy. As you can see, one of the leaves here was already quite crispy when I got the plant. So yeah, I think it's really something else, this plant. It reminds me a lot of peace lilies, just the striking white against the dark green. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Now we have this wonderful Monstera deliciosa. It's a baby at the moment, but I've had this guy since July last year. It started off with 3 leaves. We actually have another one unfurling here, which is going quite nicely. And we have some aerial roots growing. We have one here, and I've just realised we have a much longer one here, and we have some pretty little roots as well. So I need to repot this guy urgently. It's really busting out the pot. That's my first Monstera deliciosa. We have a Pilea peperomioides. I said that right first time. I can imagine that most of you have seen these guys before, but mine is doing incredibly well. Loving the sun. I have quite a few coming in there on the inside. I'm just happy with the amount of new growth that we have coming in here. Look at that. Incredible. Next we have a very sad philodendron black cardinal. These leaves are looking much healthier than they did, but as you can see, I've already had to chop a few off. It's just been struggling. It's been struggling since I got it, and I haven't really known what to do to make it happier, I will be honest. We have a dying leaf here. Well, it's not dying, it's just not doing its best. and it hasn't given me a single new leaf since buying it. So it must be unhappy, but I'm quite fortunate that this is one of the only plants that isn't happy with me. I might have to move it into the propagation box because maybe it's a humidity thing. So yeah, this is my philodendron black cardinal. This guy is prone to fungus gnats. As you may have guessed, it is a peace lily. It's quite dusty, but we have quite a lot of new growth actually on this guy. It is a beautiful plant. It isn't blooming anymore, but it has an astonishing amount of foliage, so I don't necessarily mind. These guys are amazing, even though they are prone to getting a lot of fungus gnats, as they like to be kept moist. They are just so easy to look after, and they are actually toxic to most pests. So if you give it a lot of light, a lot of water, you get a tiny jungle. It does look like a jungle from this height. I love it. Absolutely beautiful. I have two of these guys. Here is my Monstera adansonii. I believe that this form is wide form. This actually just looks a lot thinner and longer. The other half of the plant, which I separated and I put into a hanging pot, is much wider, but these are more narrow. So I'm not sure. As you can see here, this leaf is actually a lot more wide. A lot of these leaves are the older leaves, but it's giving me some lovely new growth now, so that's very exciting. This is another new leaf down here. So all of the new leaves are starting to unfurl and give me more and more and more, which is super exciting. We have, in fact, another one, which is amazing. This is my big Monstera deliciosa. This guy came to me quite damaged. As you can see, these leaves are through no fault of my own. Trust me, this devastated me when I saw it. But I got it from the service stations in England when we were coming back to Wales. And it's just, this leaf is just heartbreaking. Someone did this Monstera so dirty. I know they are quite cheap plants. You know, you can get them quite readily available. But this guy was so abused. But now we have this new leaf, which, oh my God, so beautiful. This new leaf, again, I mean, are you kidding me? Look at that. Stunning. This leaf actually made it out okay. We have quite a lot of aerial roots down here. The aerial roots follow all the way around the plant. So, here. And we have this new leaf here, which is unfurling as we speak. I just love this plant. Here is its nasty past. I'm going to chop this leaf off as soon as this one unfurls, I think. And just let it be its beautiful new self. This guy is an absolute warrior. And there we go. Comfortable. Back in your den. Moving on to this guy, which is also a bit dustier. I dust these plants. You wouldn't believe how much I dust these plants. Honestly, I dust them weekly, but they still get super dusty. This is my Ficus elastica. I'm not sure if this is a burgundy or not. I can never tell the difference. Quite a common plant. You can get these most places. It is relatively easy to look after. I've not had any problems with this guy. None at all, really. No problems with it. It likes to be moist. That's all I can really tell you. Super easy plant. Super easy to care for. Beautiful leaves. Nice thick leaves. Easy peasy. Here is my wonderful begonia maculata whitei, angel wing begonia, you might have seen it called. It's a cane begonia that blooms. I have no blooms at the moment, but last year I did manage to get a few. It's my favourite plant in my collection. I think these plants are absolutely incredible. I just think it's a beautiful plant. The backs of the leaves are red. These leaves are just amazing. I haven't trimmed mine back yet. I hear that you have to trim them twice a year, but I haven't trimmed mine and I've had it for about half a year, I guess. So it should be maybe trimming time now, but I haven't done a single thing to it and it's still looking as beautiful as ever. I just couldn't feel more lucky to have this plant, I will be honest. I might even take a few of these shots for my Instagram because it is just incredible. Are you kidding me? Look at that. Wowies. And I got this guy for £25 and it was a lot smaller when I got it. I am blessed to have this plant. I haven't seen a lot of people rave about this guy, which is a real shame because I think that this guy is incredible. This is a Begonia Benigo Pink. So instead of those lovely big white spots, the leaves are much smaller and they have this amazing bright pink spot instead. I'm actually quite fortunate to be able to say that this guy is in bloom right now. Look at those amazing baby pink leaves, blooms. And people tell me that they don't like begonia. Excuse me. I also have a lot of new growth on this guy, which is amazing. It has the same amazing red leaves on the backs and it's just incredible. A really beautiful plant, and I'm quite sad to say that I have neglected this one. It didn't deserve the neglect that I gave it. That's probably why it's blooming, I will be honest, but I'm not too mad if I get to witness these stunning blooms. It'll be looked after better now. Here is my Syngonium. I've had this one probably the longest. It came to me the same time as my tiny Monstera that I got. My Syngonium, it's either a Neon Robusta or a Syngonium Red Heart, and it's just a really slow grower. Beautiful pink leaves nevertheless, so I won't get rid of this guy. I'm still quite happy that I have it, and it has really fun lobes. Just wish it grew a bit faster. We have a snake plant that I got for free. Someone was separating their snake plants and didn't want this guy, so I took it off her. It's growing well. That's all I can say about that one. We also have here a Whalefin Sansevieria or Dracaena. It has a few big leaves, a few big pups coming, and we have another pup in here. Very exciting. I love this guy. My partner loves this guy too. Yeah, those markings are insane. It reminds me of a leopard. We do love this guy. Lastly, in the window, oh my gosh, that is throwing out new leaves. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I didn't think it had room to push out new leaves, but here it is, giving me some new leaves. It is my Stromanthe Triostar. I don't post a lot of pictures of this guy on my Instagram because these guys I find are really hard to take nice pictures of. But in video, they are stunning. Exciting that we've got 2 new leaves coming. We've got one here and one back there. There we go. You can see those 2. How thrilling. I'm going to be showing Callum that later. It reminds me a lot of a flamingo. It's beautiful. I'm glad that I have this plant, even if I don't post pictures of it to show people. This is one of those plants that just makes you happy to look at. I love the way it dances. Now I'm going to pop these guys back. So here we have a Euphorbia trigona, maybe. It's an African milk tree. It's quite tall. I got it for £25, I think, as well, from the same place that I got my begonia from. It's actually getting some nice chunky leaves here, which is nice to see. This guy is not a cactus, so you do have to water this a lot more. It got neglected. As you can see, it's got some crispy bits, but these aren't from me. It was just struggling. As you can see, it's pushing out a lot of new baby leaves here and there, which is super exciting. And it doesn't get a stupendous amount of sun, I will be honest, but it is pretty much next to a grow light that is on all day. We have a string of hearts, non-variegated, this one. A lot of new growth so far. Just super easy to look after. Can't complain. Really can't complain about this guy. We have here a Peperomia Hope. This didn't come with the pot. This actually had something else in it, but I can't remember what it was. Also super easy to look after. I got this guy from Plants. I just leave it under the grow light and it takes care of itself. I keep it nice and moist. I tend to not do that with most of my peperomias because they will rot and they will hate you. But this guy is thriving, honestly. Loving being moist. So, Peperomia Hope. Stunning. We have now a neon pothos that has some pretty cool variegation on it. It's just a really nice plant, super easy to look after again. I let this guy dry out between waterings and it's giving me some really nice big chunky leaves now. It's got some really nice little dark stripes on it as well. It's a really funky plant and you can't really complain about a plant like this, I will be honest. It does its thing, tells you what it needs. It reminds me so much of a Cebu blue, and I would just love a Cebu blue. Not the colouring, but the shape of the leaves, you know, like a little dagger. Next we have a Scindapsus. Scindapsus pictus silvery Ann. It's just in this dirty watering tray. Super easy to look after again. Super lovely shiny leaves, as you can see here. Really, really cool plant. Nothing gives me more joy than a plant that just wants to live. Next on the list is my Marble Queen pothos, another pothos. Came to me with this crispy leaf, unfortunately, but it hasn't spread, so I think it's just cold damage. But this guy is just super happy. Not a single complaint from this guy. As you can see, it has some absolutely stunning variation. This is a new leaf that it's given me since being under the grow light, and as you can see here, it's a lot more white marbled, which is exactly what we want. These older leaves are more yellow, and don't get me wrong, they're still absolutely stunning. I just love this plant. Pothos are so easy to look after. Like, are you kidding me? This leaf compared to this leaf, which one would you go for? You know, this leaf, they're stunning. More of that almost white variegation there. I love it. This is another brand new leaf. Amazing plants. I highly recommend for any beginners. I wish I'd got this one earlier. This is one I got quite far into my plant journey, actually. So here, I'll just skim through these guys. We have a Alocasia poly. This leaf is dying off. It's one of the older leaves with a baby on it. We also have, as you see back there, a Sansevieria Moonshine. We have another one next door, so I won't bother pulling this one out for you. I'll show you the one next door. And Alocasia Red Secret, which I will pull out for you actually. I'll pull this one out because it is pretty cool. This is my Alocasia Cuprea, or Red Secret. I'm not sure if they're I think they're the same. It's quite hard to take pictures of, so no one really sees this one. But to me, it is beautiful. But the leaves are pretty impressive. It's not giving me any new leaves. Oh, wait. Oh, I lie. It is giving me new leaves. It's giving me a new leaf here with a little dewdrop. Amazing. And I think it's giving me a new leaf there as well, which is very exciting. The only new leaf I've had from this guy since buying it is this one. The rest of this section is going to have to be handheld. So as you can see, we have a Hoya Crimson Princess, I believe. I can never tell the difference between Crimson Queen and Crimson Princess. This guy has just been a struggle since the start. I have nothing really to say about it. It's given me one new leaf that was, you guessed it, not variegated in the slightest. Bit depressing. Don't really care about Hoya, but I'm giving it as much as I can. I gave it a new pot. Tried to get rid of any diseased leaves, but it's just struggling. We have next a variegated string of hearts that I unboxed last week. I'll link that below. And it's reacting well. It's under a grow light currently, but it's pushed out 2 new leaves there, 2 new leaves there, and it's giving me 2 new sprouts here. And as you can see, we have 2 more there as well. Next we have a philodendron micans. It's super long. It goes all the way down here. Another really easy plant to look after. Lots of new leaves. Could not be happier with that one, I will be honest. We have a tridescantia, which is growing and giving me new growth, but I hate it, so I'm going to skip over it. We have my other peace lily up here, which is a little bit crispy. Might move it down to the window, but the leaves on this one are a whole lot bigger than the ones down there. We have a string of turtles, but the leaves are turning much darker here and back there. I have very sad looking succulent because of course I do. I can't deal with succulents. This little Hoya kerrii, which is looking sad. A Sansevieria cylindrica. The other half of the Hoya that is over there. Yeah, so that's the other half. We also have more tridescantia here, which is doing a whole lot. It's growing quite fast. And then here we have a string of beads, maybe. That is that whole plant shelf there. That is the room so far. And that's not even counting this guy. I'm having to hold you between my legs for this one because it's on the floor. But here we have, obviously we have 2 Stephania erectas. These are, I'm trying to sprout them, but I got them from a giveaway on Instagram. We have a philodendron silver sword here. This is a new leaf that it's given me recently. And this is a new leaf. I swear to God, these came out within 2 weeks of going in the box. This little guy down here is an Alocasia cuprea bulb, which is growing. We have I believe, a Hoya pubicalyx here. A wonderful begonia escargot, which is just giving me the most. A philodendron prince of orange. Also under here we have another Alocasia cuprea baby. And some Brussels sprouts, which have grown already since last video. So that is this propagation box. Let me put that back on there. There we go. We have here my stunning philodendron Brazil. It hangs in the window, gets prime location because I just love it so much. Everyone and their mother has one of these, but honestly, why wouldn't they? An amazing plant. We also then have, I'll show you these quickly, we have a cactus of some kind. I don't know what it is. I haven't watered it in months. I think this is also some kind of crassula, little Shrek boy, and another crassula. So yeah, that is this room. That is this room. So let's go next door. There aren't a lot of plants in this room, but I'll show you the ones I do have. This is the other half of the Monstera adansonii that I showed you in the other room. We have a few yellowing leaves up there, like this one. You can see how tall it is because I'm having to reach up. It's getting super long. It's constantly pushing out new leaves. It's not stopped growing. at all. It's just amazing. This is an orchid my wonderful partner got me. This guy is going strong, but the leaves look fine, feel fine, so that's all good. We have here a baby pineapple that I need to water, another cylindrica that honestly was already crispy when I got it, but I repotted it into this to give it some more room. A very crispy Kalanchoe tubiflora. It's very crispy. I don't know what's wrong with it. I think it's because it's next to the radiator maybe, but I water it and yeah, it's just not doing well. It's looking a bit sad. So this one is obviously a spider plant. It looks really sad. On the top there, it looks really, really sad. But down here, there are loads of pups. It's loving life down here. Looks like some crazy ballet performance from here. Look at that. Amazing. So that's my spider plant. Over here, we have a huge Ficus benjamina. Absolutely massive. It's as tall as me. It was taller, but it's like kind of flopped over because we are in the attic and the roof ends like here. It's given me a lot of new growth at the moment. I was really worrying that it was dying, but it's doing well. It's doing good. I got this guy for free from a neighbour when we lived in London, and yeah, it's quite a big boy. It gets a lot of nice light from the window. Here we have another Ficus benjamina. It's tiny compared to the big boy, but I love it all the same. This one had a spider mite problem, but I think we're all good now. I've given it so many wipes, but yeah, that is one. We have here a Sansevieria moonshine. This one is looking a bit more sad. As you can see, this leaf is flopping over and it's a bit wrinkly. I don't know why, but this is the other half of the Sansevieria moonshine that I got next door. I separated them and I think it's doing quite well now. It was suffering a bit when I separated them. We're doing good. It's all okay. Feeling fine. Okay guys, so that is all I have for you this week. It's probably been a much longer video than I thought it would be. I have a lot of plants. This room, it doesn't have as many exciting ones because next door is kind of my happy place and it's where I wake up and I see what needs to be done. These guys kind of suffer a bit, apart from the Ansonii, which just thrives on neglect apparently. But yeah, if you guys want to follow me over on Instagram, that would be fantastic. If you guys would like to subscribe, leave a comment and like this video, that would be fantastic. I would love to just talk to you guys more, and yeah, if you have any plant suggestions, let me know because the garden centres in Wales open back up next week. So as I said, you can follow me over on Instagram. I am always there talking absolute nonsense. I'll see you in the comments and I hope you have a great weekend. I will see you next week at Thursday at 6 p.m. for another planty video. See you later guys. Bye.